with the coasters. Yo, what is going on, Dank fam, and anyone else watching? It's your boy Mike Diesel. Today we're on the 2022 Grom. A lot of new mods added on this thing that I haven't told you guys about, but due to the timely manner I was trying to get this video posted, this is a bike I ended up riding. So here's a sneak peek. We got the handbrake set up, easy pull clutch, Brock's exhaust, and we cut the whale tail fender off. So she's looking pretty solid, and she actually has some stunt parts on her to do some stunts on it.
How much air you got in the tire?
I don't know, maybe a lot.
Looks like it.
I was cutting them circles pretty hard. So today we're talking about the thing that I'm sure a lot of you guys are very curious about, and won't seem to leave my Instagram feed, and that is all the drama that's going on in the stunt community. Seems to be sourcing around myself specifically. So rather than sit here and try to defend myself or put other guys down and from what they say, me try to play victim, I'm just gonna be a man and be honest with you guys and tell you exactly the facts and exactly what I've done wrong, what I could have done right, and basically just kind of how things have panned out. So since everything's kind of popped off in Chicago, I've made some posts and just asked people simply anything that I've done to them, just simply let me know. And not for the fact that I can sit there and defend myself, but I just want to own up to things that I might have truthfully done to really offend people, man, because I understand the following and the numbers and the power and everything else, and the thing that people don't understand is these guys with these bigger numbers and followers might not be trying to make a post to sit there and trash other guys, but simply just being a normal human being and having feelings and having a not the best way to just to express them. So my point being is just to give you guys a little bit of a backstory and kind of get us all caught up, and it's just going to be a show of a story trying to explain everything. So I'm basically just going to give you guys my point of view in the story and not sugarcoat or anything like that, and just be honest. Backstory: there's a problem with me and Brian, apparently. There's a problem with me and Highside Joe, apparently. There's a problem with me and this guy Jack from West Coast Connection, or the West Coast Connection guys in general. There's a problem with me at the ESR guys. There's a problem with just random guys that I've never met. A lot of guys, more than all these guys I just mentioned. There's more random people that are mad at me, leaving rude comments on my Instagram and this, that, and the other. So I had to make this post just to simply lay it all off for you guys, so you guys can understand I guess the behind the scenes stuff that is now out in the open and public info. So backstory, I'll start with ESR. ESR, I've known them for years and years and years. I couldn't wheelie for so many years, and this guy Dankwheelie met up with me, and he was part of the team a while back, and he basically had all this footage, and I loved editing, especially people that knew how to wheelie, since I couldn't. And basically I just worked with him and made some ESR videos, and I used to do their edits, and this was years and years ago, before a lot of these ESR members were even on the team. So I did that for a while, and I always stayed in contact with the ESR boys, and flash forward, never had any issues with them. And then we had an event one year, the year before everything popped off, and this event, they asked me, hey, do you want to be a vendor? And I was, at the time, I wanted to have a tent just set up, just to have a spot where I could come and hang and kick it with fans and have my bikes there in one spot. It's really convenient, regardless of merchandise. But I wasn't as established as I was now, so I didn't agree to that, and I just dropped the ball on that, and I felt really bad because at the end of the day, I did want that spot. So I said, hey, next event, let me know. I want to be professional and on point and punctual with everything with planning, and make sure that I'm there for the event. So that event was the one that just passed with the gas can and them not paying me for the event. That's the event that I was talking about when I said, hey, let me know about this event. I want to be well prepared, yada, yada, yada. Check out this view, though. We're just doing some cruising on the Grom, taking some random spots, but mainly just like a little beach cruise. A lot of you guys probably don't hit the beach. Ribbit! Suck! We got 50 uphill on the Grom. I'm about it. Fifth gear, let's go! Alright. I gotta kind of mellow out here as we go. So that event came up, and everything was great until one of my best friends in Florida, you guys know Morimoto, I've known him for years and years and years. One of the biggest expansions I've ever seen him have is signing for KTM, Yamaha, and Indian. And I don't want to get super personal with numbers, this, that, and the other, but the starting bare minimum rate that usually stunt riders charge is about a third of what the budget was for ESR. Granted, ESR had multiple performers, so if they were going to pay the normal starting rate for stunt riders, it would have been a crazy high budget for them. So I understand that they wanted to pay a third of what myself personally would start out with charging. So with all that being said, ESR said, hey Mike, we're going to pay you $100 to come out here for the weekend and do some stunt shows, yada yada yada. And I was like, great. And there wasn't a contract. That's where the problem was. It was just an agreement. Hey, you're gonna come out here, we're gonna pay you $100 for the weekend, do some wheelies, entertain, perform. Awesome. But that was the gray area. That's the biggest problem, is that the gray area was they were paying me $100 for blank. Nobody really knew. To my knowledge, it was for me to drive from Florida to Texas and show up with my brand that I flew my editor out for. And to their knowledge, it was to have me go over there and do stunt shows and earn that $500 through stunt shows and performances. So that was the discrepancy. So ESR offered to pay me $5 to come out for the weekend in the email, and it was a really gray area as far as what the $5 was for. They basically said, we're paying performers out there $5, and that's the deal. So I was like, cool. So the big gray area with ESR was I had a show in Florida on Saturday, and the ESR shows were Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I went to ESR, drove there, my editor took over my van, set up merch Saturday at the event so we could represent as Dankwheelie, while I was in Florida at Tampa at Morimoto doing my stunt show. And then I flew back Saturday, arrived in Texas Saturday night, and then Sunday I rode all Sunday at ESR, besides the time that they took the gas, yada yada yada. So the gas incident was super simple. The host of ESR came up to me and he said, hey, we don't have any gas, can we use some of your gas that they were pointing at? And my gas can was nowhere near full. It's only a 5-gallon can, and my bike was bone dry. So I was like, oh yeah, I would, man, but I don't even have any gas in my bike right now. And they're like, all right, well, we'll just use a little bit and leave you a little bit to still fill your bike up, and then we'll replace your gas for you before you need more. And I was like, all right, that's fine. I don't mind. I'm only gonna ride for a little bit, and I'm sure you'll have it replaced by then. So that was the deal. I went, waited for them to fill their gas up for their generator, and then they came, brought the gas can back, I filled my bike up, and I started riding. And people, I didn't really get to ride the past two weekends, so the fact that I didn't get to ride because of the gas situation, it was a lot more aggravating than it usually would be, because I haven't been riding a ton. I drove like 2,200 miles in the past like 4 days, so I was really anxious to ride. And on top of that, I just kind of felt like I was cheated throughout the weekend, not being able to go out there and do my part at the ESR event. So that's what happened. They basically never replaced the gas can, and so multiple ESR teammates came up to me throughout the day and they said, hey, what's wrong, Mike? You look pissed off. And I was like, yeah, I'm pissed off. Like you guys, I kept saying you guys, basically just took my gas and didn't replace it like you said you would. And no one really replaced the gas. The fan actually ended up putting a gas tank on his bike and coming back from the gas station with it. And I would have just replaced the gas can, people, but I had merchandise tent and blah 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 blah, and it was just myself since my editor had to fly back to North Carolina. So very stupid and petty. And I tried to let it go, people, but I sit and drive for hours on end on the road, and it gives you plenty of time just to think about stuff. And I really didn't even care about the bucks, because I truthfully didn't feel like it was that big of a deal for me to say something, since I wasn't there the total 3 days. If I went there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and rode my ass off, that would be one thing. But I think the biggest thing that upset me is the fact that I drove over there, rode for the days that I could, had my tent set up all the days that we were able to. I had my editor out there. I mean, I really did my part as trying to show support as a brand, and I didn't get a simple thank you or thanks for coming out or safe travels back from the host or any of that, man. I just didn't feel any love, man. And so that's what happened. I basically just started, you know, in my feelings, I ain't gonna lie, and this is where I'm admitting where I'm wrong. In my feelings, I started looking on Facebook, checking on people to see, and I actually wanted to go send a message to the host of the event that originally asked for the gas can and yada yada yada. And when I went to go send him a message on Facebook, my man deleted me off Facebook. And this is before any of these posts or anything like that I said even came out. The last that we had left off is I went there at the event, he took my gas, and then I hadn't talked to him since, didn't get a thank you for coming out or anything. He just simply deleted me off Facebook at some point in time between then. This is where I messed up. Instead of being like, shout out to the guy that took my gas can, was supposed to pay me, this, that, and the other, I was dumb enough to say shout out to the team, because that team, I did not realize, isn't represented the way that I was trying to get the representation. About to hit a kayak. So I shouldn't have said shout out to the team. I should have never even really made the post, to be honest. So what I was originally going to do was message the host of the event that never paid me and just basically just talk it out, but the dude deleted me off Facebook. So at that point, I mean, anyone really knows, like, if you're going to ask someone for money that you think they owe you and they're already deleting you off Facebook, that's already like a red flag that you're not really going to get anywhere with this conversation coming up. So me being the dumb person that I was at the time, I made the post, and instead of at least even just calling the single guy out, I didn't even make anybody's names mentioned. I just said shout out to the team. I mean, yeah, you guys can see the post right here. It wasn't about the money. I didn't want any payments or any kind of payback or anything like that. I simply even put in the post, the principle is, if you guys take someone's gas, or if you do something, just acknowledge it. And you know what I mean, if I owe someone 20 bucks and they don't care about the money, I'm gonna keep leaving tabs and saying, hey man, I know I owe you that 20 bucks. I didn't forget about you, but I just don't want things to be awkward if you think I did. So stuff like that, man, I didn't get any of that. On top of that, the salt in the wound was never doing anything to them in the first place and already having them delete me off Facebook. So I was offended by it. I was sensitive about it, and it's very rarely that I'm starting to feel those sensitive feelings, man, because I'll tell you something, guys, I quit my job in 2018 and started doing this LLC. Since then, I don't have self-help guides and this, that, and the other. I'm literally just Googling everything that I need at a time. And what is this guy doing? And I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm just winging it at all times, and I'm thankful that I have the support that I do, and just the skills that I've learned over the years to getting as far as I have. But you guys got to realize that me making a post like that, not even putting the people's names in there, I didn't want it to escalate like this. And if you guys truthfully think I did, then that's cool. But I'm really big on the principles and stuff like that, and I just feel like my point wasn't really made, since the people that started to jump on the post at first were the ones defending themselves or defending their friends, and whatever the case may be. So bottom line is, ESR didn't do anything to me up to that point after me making that post. They could have, yeah, replaced my gas can. That was the main thing that I was pissed off about. And like I said, people, I was driving all day. I even put in the comments I was bored venting about something that frustrated me. And yeah, it wasn't right. So I'll admit there I was wrong, and I apologize for the fact that I went that far as to make a post about something. Even if I didn't tag the people, it wasn't right. I shouldn't have said shout out to the team. Whatever the case may be, it was petty, and I'll own up to that. I had a lot of close friends just man to man tell me, hey Mike, I understand where you're coming from, and I see the point you were trying to make, but you could have done that a lot better. And at the time, you know, I'm sticking to my guns, and I'm like, yeah man, I understand, but it's just the principle, man. These people they don't want to come to an agreement. They just kind of want to stick to their side. I mean, they could light a guy on fire, and they're going to say, well, maybe the guy deserved it, but I just want someone to take accountability for it. And if I have to be the guy to start off by doing it, I definitely will, and say that, yes, I should have made that post. And as far as the event host goes, I was emailing his wife professionally. She was emailing me back professionally, and there was a huge gray area discrepancy between why they were paying me $4. In my eyes, I was getting paid $4 to show up with my brand, promote their event, and say, hey, Dankwheelie as a group and a brand is going to be there, and he will also be doing wheelies when he can. But they wanted the 3 or 2 days of performing and to get their full money's worth of payment that they were giving me. But that was a huge disagreement. I should have bit my tongue, and even though this man deleted me off Facebook, I should have pursued the message that I was planning on sending him, saying, hey, what's up with that bucks or that can of gas, or just a thank you for coming out to your event. But I was offended off the get-go, and I let my feelings get the best of me and made that post. Since then, man, like, I can truthfully say, guys, I've stayed in my own lane. I realized there that I got a lot of attention, but the wrong attention. It made me sick to my stomach. For one, the things that people were saying to me that don't even know me, just defending their friends, but also the fact that I have my own fans that are defending me, talking trash about these guys that don't know ESR or any of these other guys that might be dogging me. So that's the thing, man, like the negativity that spews from it, even if there's a million people defending me, that one comment where they're talking shit on my enemy, it does eat at me, people. It's not something that I like.
What?
You want to stop anywhere over here?
Why you?
I don't know. Just talking my brains off over here. So bottom line is, guys, I wasn't making that post to be malicious. If I really wanted to make a cult and have everybody hate on this team that I felt did me wrong, I would have simply tagged them and really tried to like paint a picture. But the post picture itself was just a screenshot of me and Jay Nasty's bike, of all people. Just a story, really. Just explaining all that stuff. So I really didn't want to go guns blazing and talk some trash about some team, and it shouldn't even have been about the team. Like I said, it should have been about the guy that originally was, and it shouldn't have been a post in the first place. So yeah, that's my fault. But at the end of the day, guys, you're allowed to not like people. It's okay to not like someone. Like if you don't have a reason why you don't like somebody, you just get a weird vibe from them, that's perfectly fine, man. I think that's the problem with a lot of people, myself too. I've had it in the past where, you know, you want to be friends with people so bad and they don't want to be your friend, or people don't like you and you don't even know who they are, and you're just like, fuck that guy, you don't like me. Like, who cares? I've been so consumed by my own work. I just got my shop and this, that, and the other, that ever since this ESR stuff's happened, I made the post. I started that fire, I guess, with them, not even intentionally, and I couldn't even maintain it to really, you know, I don't know. So all this stuff, man, like talking trash online or just having your disagreements with people, it's basically, the best way I can compare it is like having a wound, you know what I mean? When you have a wound, it's when I make that post, or when someone makes a post trashing you, you can just sit there and message each other and try to work it out. That's basically like applying some kind of ointment, you know, to help the wound heal. Or you can just keep picking at it, leaving comments and just sharing it to your friends, or having your friends join in and hate on someone just because they don't like you or they had something bad to say about you. It just starts this bigger infection, I guess you could say, on your body, or just leaves a bigger scar long term. And I guess the biggest thing that I did is I started this wound, and I didn't keep picking at it, but I damn sure didn't apply an ointment, but trying to fix things. And that's my fault, because they might have left this big scar, maybe retaliating, punching their teammate back when he pushed me off my bike. But I definitely, the last thing I wanted to do was leave a bigger scar. I should have applied the ointment and shot someone a message and been like, yo man, like, let's get this figured out before we leave a big scar, or any kind of scar, man. But regardless, that's the best way to look at it. You had the beef, and whatever the size of the beef is, the size of the wound, there's always going to be that tiny little scar, you know. But the sooner you get to the wound or get to the beef and take care of it, the sooner you're going to have a smaller scar or just damage to that friendship or whatever the case may be. That's one thing I guess I wanted to point out. I guess I thought of a comparison just before I started to make this video, and I wanted to make sure to cover that point. I try to be as straightforward and honest with you guys, and that's the main thing I want you guys to take from this, is that I have no reason to lie to you guys. If you like me or not after this video, it's understandable. But one thing I want you guys to do is just like people for their content or the relationship that you have with them specifically. If you don't know someone, man, and why make an opinion on them? That's my biggest thing. That should look cool. Alright, so guys, just to sum up that ESR beef, they didn't do anything to me besides, I guess, retaliate by pushing me off my bike at the lean back and Chirac ride, which I guess if you want to see that footage so bad, we'll post it. And yeah, I'm not going to retaliate and punch the kid back. For one, at the time, everybody doesn't like me at that group ride because the host of the ride, which we'll get to, simply said I was talking down on the ride. Yeah, the last thing I'm going to do is be in the circle of people that are kind of not on my side, or shouldn't really be taking sides in the first place, and punch the smallest guy in that circle and expect nobody to jump in to help him out. So that's where we're at with that. And I mean, I'm not even like gonna hold a grudge, man. Like, you pushed me off my bike, I'm not really too offended by people calling me a pussy for not wanting to retaliate. You guys got to remember, I have sponsorships and a brand and a bunch of different things, and not only that, a million people with cameras. So your life can change in a matter of seconds, but the best way that I can maintain my composure and everything else is just to simply get out of the situation and de-escalate myself and just the moment at hand. That's just the way I personally like to handle situations. I got a lot to lose, and it just wasn't worth it, because a video like this, maybe they'll watch it and understand my point of view and understand where I came from. The thing is, like, once you get in that physical altercation, man, it's hard to go back from that. The kid that pushed me was a part of their group. I don't talk to him. I've never had any kind of words with him. I think I'm even friends with him on Facebook. I don't know. But the thing is, he went and pushed me, and I have no hatred or anything like that towards him or any of those guys. That's not me, man. I'm not known for fighting and stuff like that. I'm known for riding, and that's the pure reason I went out there, to go and ride and show my talent and see friends and stuff like that. So that was the whole thing. ESR, I made a post, didn't tag him in it, but they all took ownership of it, and that was a huge thing. No hate towards ESR, man. I know they hate me, but that's is what it is. I just simply felt wrong in the situation. You know, I came out there, I showed love, didn't get a thank you or anything like that. Oh well, boo-hoo. But anyways. Oh, what? My throttle bodies are loose. No, the throttle cable, 60-mile clapper. All right, so I know the ESR story is kind of long, but these other guys will be a lot quicker, because there's not really much to it. So I'll mention Highside Joe. Highside Joe, really good street rider. I actually met him through Facebook. I was buying parts for one of my first stunt bikes, believe it or not, and this guy had the same bike, and he was parting out parts, and he sold me the parts. I had him out on Facebook, that way he wouldn't like rob me or something probably. And long story short, we ended up becoming friends, and Joe was Joe before he was Highside Joe, and that's before I knew him. I knew him as Joe, and he's just a really killer rider. And he started getting into the bagger life and everything else, and he developed the Highside Life brand, and seems to be doing great with that. So with the Highside Life brand, I've never had any kind of like public disagreements or anything like that. Really, I don't have anything bad to say about the guy. I just never really rocked with him. You know, they kind of have their cliques, and I just was never a part of it, and that's where that went, man. I just I don't know, I just don't follow the guy online and stuff like that, and I think it's okay for me to just not really affiliate myself with him, and that's really what it came down to. You know, I can honestly publicly say with Highside Life and a lot of these other guys, I don't really rock with the same flow as them. So yeah, Highside Life, he's had a lot of bad stuff to say about me. I think he made this post basically just saying I was gonna play victim and this, that, and the other, which isn't the case, man. Like I have no problem owning up to my mistakes, my dude. And I even asked you specifically if there was anything directly that I said to you in the past that would have offended you, or, you know, pissed you off, or just was not right, you know what I mean? And I didn't get anything back from you, or I would have acknowledged it right here in this moment. But Highside, man, I don't know where all the hatred and stuff like that comes from. I understand if Brian's like your best friend. He was one of my best friends at the time too, and it's cool defending your friend. I understand completely, but realistically, nothing happened between me and Highside Joe. I've never had any bad words physically or anything like that, or nothing. We gotta go faster. We're getting passed by cars. This thing ripping. Say, I have nothing against Highside Life. I just, I don't know. We just don't rock the same tune, so that's what that is. I'm just not really a social person, so a lot of these guys that I've hung around, we didn't really rock the same way. I felt really awkward or whatever around them, and it's nothing against them, man. I just personally don't click with certain people, and yeah, I've never had any kind of disagreements with Highside Life. Never had any disagreements with Stunt News, but they seem to kind of be biased with their post towards me. I think it's a genius idea to actually have that page. That was really smart of them to make a page covering that kind of media. Like, I don't have anything I can really say that they're gonna like make a post and be like, yeah, this is what he said. Because really, I took a couple days to A1 heal from Chicago from that crash, but B, just to really get my thoughts together on this video I made for you guys. Even though it's gonna be a shit show of a post, kind of like my driving right now, at least maybe you guys kind of get an idea of where I'm coming from. It's hard when you don't have much family, and you look for your friends to be the family, and I guess you take things a lot more personal when you dedicate your time to people more than you do family, and then it turns out that they weren't really like family in the first place. That probably don't make any sense at all, but the thing is, man, I spent a lot of time and I've dedicated all of my life to this lifestyle, and the thing that hurts me the most is someone that says this guy's doing it for this or doing it for that, because I bust my ass, people, night and day, physically, mentally, more mentally than physically, the better I've gotten at a rider. And I think that's a lot of the reason why that post came out, you know, just not knowing how to communicate with people. I spent so much time working and riding, and that you don't have much time to fine-tune your social skills. And then on top of that, the guy's already deleting you off Facebook, so you're like, okay, time to go into deletion mode. I can be one to say that I've burned a lot of good opportunities just closing the door too soon or not talking things out, and it's a shitty thing to do to yourself, but I guess owning up to it is like one of the first steps. What is it? The first step to recovery is acceptance, and I accept that yeah, I don't address things head on sometimes and go the wrong way about it, but hey man, we're all human and we're learning from it, and if half these guys that are followers of them don't like me, that's part of the damage that is done to myself back in April when I made that post. So sincerely, can't really apologize to the guys that have kind of just beaten on me the past couple months through comments and messages. I hope they just kind of just learn to let it go, and I've definitely learned to let it go after that post. That's really the best thing I can hope for in that situation. I'm not expecting an apology out of them, but I really apologize to the people that took the time out of their lives to catch up on this drama, I guess you'd call it. And just because the simple fact is you guys wasted your time. There's not really much to it. It was something that I could have addressed with them, they could have addressed with me. I don't know, so much shit. The West Coast Connection guys, I've never really had any issues with them. A couple guys specifically came up to me that I wasn't a big fan of, like the Jack guy and a couple other guys. They face-to-face came up to me and said something along the lines of I heard that you don't rock with us. I think he said something like that, and I was like, yeah, I don't really rock with you guys. And he's like, oh, why is that? Why did we do something to you? And I was like, no, you guys didn't do anything to me. I just, you know, I don't really rock with you guys. And he's like, oh, okay. And then that was it. So Jack West Coast Connection came up, said that to me, and that was where the conversation ended. And at that point, I was just kind of like, I know, against them in their eyes. So got nothing against the West Coast Connection guys. I absolutely love the West Coast as far as riding over there. I know a lot of killer riders on their group. I know Star over there in particular is one of my favorite riders to watch. Crazy good edits and everything else. But yeah, I got a lot of love for those guys, and I think that's the biggest thing that really sucks is that they think that I have some kind of anger towards them or any of these people I'm mentioning in this video, and I don't. I really don't. I think a lot of us at the end of the day have a similar goal to just magically have this sport grow. And I can tell you one thing, and I'm sure they can all agree as well, is that this definitely ain't doing it. This is like the total opposite thing that we need, keeping this drama spreading. So with that being said, I'm going to get on to the last subject, which is Chicago and Brian 636 in particular. And yeah, all the juicy shit you guys are just waiting to hear about. Oh man, what's the secret drama? You know, me and my girl just chilling, you know what I'm saying? She got pennies on her chest, and they couldn't even put a dime, it's a penny. A hook too. Okay. Quick commercial break. A new 2022 Grom has loose-ass throttle cables. The clouds is capping. You know, they put a lot of weight on the weatherman's shoulders. Like, them clouds can be black as and just not want to squeeze. You know what I mean? And then the weatherman's the bad guy. He needs to start saying, there's going to be some black clouds over top of y'all. I don't know what's going to happen after that. Alright, people. Last and final topic I want to mention is Brian 636. I guess the main person that you've probably seen that wasn't too happy with me. And I'll just get to the nitty-gritty with that. Start off with how I met Brian 636. Basically, I was just a squid. I had a nice sized YouTube following. I might have been at 100,000 followers by then. I'm not quite sure. But one thing is for sure, I sucked at wheelies. I could barely hold like a good steady seat standard in the street. I was casually going out to Orlando rides, and one year Orlando had a really big turnout with the street fighters out there, and I just remember it was a big deal. And Brian 636 specifically, I met at a gas station, and I just remember hearing his story and who he was, and I was just like, wow, this is really cool. This guy just got back from the military and started doing stunt riding and watched my videos throughout military, and then boom, now he's a stunt rider. and we had shook hands right there at the gas station, and after that we went on the ride. So when we went on the ride, this video is actually still up on YouTube. You can see I was just like mesmerized by this man, like scraping spreader scrapes and everything else, because it was like one of my first times seeing someone really that in tune with his bike as far as just control and comfort. Because me, every wheelie I would do, I wasn't really too skilled on the streets specifically, so I was just scared shitless, and this guy just looked so comfortable and at ease. So yeah, it's no secret that Brian's always been a killer on the streets, and I'm kind of more pursued in the lots, and that's the biggest thing. People kind of assume that since I'm a lot-based guy, that I just, you know, when one little thing gets mentioned, it's like, oh yeah, you're right, Mike is 90% lots and 10% streets, so he probably does hate all these stunt scenes, which isn't the case at all, people. I wanted to see, you know, maybe I was drunk one night making some kind of post or whatever the case may be, which I don't get drunk often. That was just a really very bad example, but I just wanted to see if there was something that I said that someone might have got misconstrued into something, you know, disrespectful or negative towards someone specifically, or even the stunt scene as a whole. Chicago, everybody was kind of saying, but yeah, I didn't see anything. The only thing that I saw was on my own personal YouTube channel. A fan asked, hey Mike, love your, a fan said basically, hey, great video, I love your riding style. I'm curious, are you ever going to be back in Chicago for Lean Back in Chirac or Doomsday? And I said, doubtful. I don't support those events. That's all I said, those specific words, I believe. And basically that's the comment that Brian636, I'm kind of getting off topic here. Me and Brian636 became friends after that day, and just kind of stayed in contact, and our friendship really evolved when we started to go more rides together and had more experiences together on these rides, you know, bikes breaking down, people crashing, and just, you know, becoming more of a brotherhood in that sense. And I guess the thing that really sucked the most is once he started to make the YouTube channel and we both started to do our own thing, those daily phone calls and just catching up with each other kind of didn't exist anymore. And this guy that used to be your best friend just you know, moved on to other things, and I was just really focused on trying to keep a really solid friendship with him or any of the other people in my life that I really found really important. And I just didn't feel like I got the same back in return with him, you know. And what I've said before in the past with people is like, Brian did nothing to me and I did nothing to Brian. Like, he didn't steal from me, he didn't, you know, do this or do that. And I know that truthfully he can say that I've never done anything to him. You know, I might have done something like went to his city for a ride, and him thinking that's being malicious, but really, man, I just went out there to ride. So with that being said, man, I had a falling out with Brian, and I spent a lot of time just eating myself up about our friendship, to where I guess the negative thing that I did was just delete him off of my social medias. That way I just didn't see what he was doing, man. I had so much time wrapped up in worrying about our friendship falling out that I kind of lost track of my own self for a couple weeks, and just, you know, lost focus of my own goals, and it just sucked. You know, me and him even talked one time, and he said basically, like, I understand that we're both becoming distant, and we both even agreed, like, hey, we're both going to work on trying to be in contact better as friends. And after an event passed by after that, you know, he drugged me down while I was filming something to the ground, and he was just kind of maybe tipsy and joking around about it, but it really offended me, on top of already kind of being sensitive about our friendship tanking. So that was kind of like the final straw in my eyes. I took it really personal, because, you know, my type of person, man, I have thousands of followers, but, you know, I only got a couple handful of guys that I really give my overall full self to. I don't leave myself vulnerable with everything when I meet people until I really think that there's someone that I can trust, you know. And Brian was one of those guys that I felt like I could trust inside and out. And I just, over time, I just felt like I was the only person in that friendship that could really be the one trusted. So I don't know, like I said, man, it's so much emotion and stuff like that, since I've had such a weird friendship with the guy. But I don't know, never really hashed things out with Brian. We tried to work things out with that conversation, and then the last event kind of just distanced me completely from him, and as a chain reaction, you know, him and his brother and friends of him, Highside Joe being one of his closest friends, you know, it's just how it works out, man. I didn't defend myself or try to hash things out with him, so of course they're gonna pick your boy and take his side if I don't have anything to say about the whole thing. Got that red tide, baby! So ever since that happened, guys, I haven't made any comments towards Brian. I never wanted to tell people that we fell out because me and him are like one of the two main guys in this industry on YouTube specifically, and I don't think it's fair to sit there and tell my fans about something personal that happened between me and him, especially for the fact that I don't think that me and him are either bad guys. You know, I think it was just two totally different personalities that got along for a while and just kind of fell out, you know. That's really what it is, and I can honestly say that, like, I wish nothing but the best for the guy, even after everything that's happened for the past weekend. And magically, like, I guess to talk about lean back, you guys gotta remember, man, I got 20 stitches in my leg last year, like 30 minutes into riding when I first got into town. So I was really salty about going out there and just destroying myself before I had some time to get some seat time in. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I have like personal vendettas where if I'm doing something and I don't get it, I don't stop until I get it done. And that's exactly why I went to lean back this year. It wasn't to, you know, cause problems. I never even talked to the guy Brian ever. So why would I go up out of the blue after, you know, a year of falling out with the guy and sit there and you know, just out of nowhere just go up there to cause problems. I specifically went out there to go out there and do my thing and just redeem myself from a shitty year last year. And funny enough, I still crashed even though I was trying to redeem myself, but you guys will see, I didn't hold me back. It just fueled me to keep going stronger. And even that same night after the crash, people throwing stuff at me, doing wheelies and pushing me on my bike, and you guys say, oh, why didn't you retaliate and this, that, and the other? It's because I didn't come there for conflict. I went there specifically to ride. And I don't know, I guess my intentions were that even with whatever things that people have against me that I'm not even sure of, I just figured that we could put those differences aside and just ride. And even the kid that pushed me, man, I had nothing bad to say about him. I was filming him that same night before that. I don't know, man, I'm just so consumed by my life, and it's affected my personal life with how busy I am, that the last thing I want to do is just start making problems with people, especially people I don't even know or never met. So I don't know, man, that's really where I'm at. I think I've kind of covered everything as far as ESR goes. Just to sum it up, I mean, ESR, knowing that team for years, and I don't feel that it was right for the leader of the group to take my gas, not even acknowledge I replaced it. But yes, I was definitely in the wrong for going ahead and making that post and not just message him directly, because I was upset that he deleted me and all that other stuff. So yes, petty on my end. I've taken the backlash for it. You guys don't like me for it, I understand. But main thing I want to get from this, people, is if you don't like me or any of these guys, have it for your own specific reasons. You know, if one of your friends doesn't like someone and you truthfully do, just continue to like them, man. Like, people aren't going to like each other, and if you don't support something, it's not a sign of disrespect towards something. It's just simply being honest and open about your opinion on things. And you know, that's why people get censored out, is because people are more and more upset about your opinion. But I mean no negativity by it, people. I know I'm an influence in this community, but the last thing I want to do is just sit there and crush the community. So I'll admit here and say that I'm sorry for any kind of wrongdoing that you guys might have think I've done to you. But you know, I'm taking on bigger things right now, getting a bigger shop, and I just, you know, I don't want to continue this stuff, people. So if I have to be the guy to say it, I just want it to be done. And everyone else, anybody watching this, whether you like me or not, I hope for the best for whatever you guys got going on. Hopefully I don't get pushed off my bike if I show up at the next ride. And yeah, I don't know, if you guys do push me off my bike, I'm not going to be entertaining this fight and stuff. Just, I'm above it. And say what you want about it, people, it just ain't worth it. I'm focused on the bigger picture, and just pull me aside and talk to me. That's all we gotta do, people, because I'm ready to talk stuff out. But let's have something to talk about in the first place, and let's do that before it escalates. But other than that, I feel bad for this video, so I'm also going to post a riding video, so that way we have 2 uploads today. One to cover all this drama stuff, or whatever you want to call it. No longer drama, it's squashed on my end. I have no retaliation towards any of this stuff. You guys shoot me out of Chicago, wherever the case may be, but the thing is, I'm not going to sit there and sit around a ride that's pissing you guys off until I make a video like this to give my point of view, and just to simply say that I came there to ride. I didn't come there to escalate any kind of situations. In my eyes, I felt like Brian was kind of just treating me like a ghost that didn't exist since our falling out, and little did I know that it would just offend him in that sense, of him thinking that I went to his ride to sabotage it or whatever the case may be. But truthfully saying this, man, whether you believe me or not, that wasn't the case. You probably should know by now that I'm hard-headed and wanted to prove that I wouldn't get 21 stitches this year around. And yes, I survived lean back in Chirac. Look forward to seeing you guys at Ride of the Century. Stay happy, stay healthy, each and every one of you guys. Rain's gonna destroy me and Peanut. Let's try to keep it positive from here on out. And you guys will notice that I'm sticking to the content. We're not doing this drama stuff. We're gonna focus on genuine quality content. And that's it, people. That's the name of the game. I'm open to talking to anybody that wants to shoot me a message. I'm just trying to get caught up on life. But anything else I might have missed, whoops. But stay happy, stay healthy, be easy, keep it dank, people. Later.
Young and out there, bottom buddy, made it happen. I don't wanna make no friends, put me to my hands. Who we think he is in that brand new Benz? They should've knew I was coming, just still a young and I knew I'd give me some money. No, I turn nothing to something, I look at your cousin, the youngest, he's me and right. And I promise to keep it 100, keep it 100. You see me down in